Good afternoon, everyone. This is Devashish Pramanik, co-founder for Systools. I welcome you to this cybersecurity webinar series on Next Generation SOC powered by Chronicle and Netenrich. This session has been recorded for future purpose. Uh, the agenda of this webinar is Introduction to Google Chronicle solution, and then how Netenrich resolution intelligence platform makes a SOC operations much efficient than compared to the current solution in the market. In last few years, I think post-pandemic, one of the things that has happened is people are working from multiple places. They are working from home, offices, across places while traveling, which has which has increased the number of different type of apps and devices that we are using. Uh, in terms of users, overall for an organization, it's not only their employees who are using application, but their vendors, their partners, their customers, their consultant who are using these solutions now. Now, overall, what has this has brought security into focus. It is very important now. Security for an organization with this huge amount increased attack surface should be paramount, should be taken care to ensure these are protected. The data is protected. The users are protected. Communication is protected. So those has added more things into the overall spectrum or focus from an organization point of view. So this is where Chronicle come into picture, and we claim, and the Chronicle claim that it's the first global security telemetry platform designed for the world that thinks in petabytes. We're not talking about gigabytes, but we're talking about petabytes. A very good example that that can be used how Chronicle can be best. Whenever an attack happens, the first question the CEO will ask the CISO or the CIO is that, are we secure? And that's something which is very common question asked by the management to the CISO on a day-to-day basis. The answer to this is because there's an attack, you have the IOCs, it will not take you more than a few seconds, maybe less than a second to answer yes or no. It is search again, a Google type of search on petabyte of data can be done in a quick less than a second time. And that's the beauty of Chronicle. Now, let us understand how Chronicle fit into a SOC compared to the previous solution. Now, one of the biggest concern that we have found with existing solution is inability to scale to large amount of data. They're designed or built for small amount of data or log data. As a result, whenever we talk about petabyte, it need it's not it cannot be done, but it need additional investment in infrastructure, overall resources to achieve that thing, which basically indirectly means additional cost. Uh, Apart from that, there is always chances of blind spots, I would say, which allow because the data comes in log correlation across a large amount of time is typically not done. Typically, if you're already aware, a thread that comes to any actors that a vector which comes into our network doesn't start immediately. It takes around 180 days, 190 days on an average to initiate an attack, and this is where our current set of tools may not be able to cover them because they don't have when they're trying to correlate, they're trying to correlate with just for last few months or last few days data for correlation. As a result, they may have missed out, or blind spot can come because they're not able to correlate of an event which is spanned across a huge amount of time. This is where Chronicle come into picture. First, Chronicle, in terms of it's completely a SaaS-based cloud-native solution. It operate at Google scale and speed. It understand the log size can be retained for more than for a year time. It is compared to any existing solution. It is a fixed base cost. It has an offering of a solution. I think it's maybe the only solution, same solution, or which is priced based on user or employee. It takes care of a lot of because data is there. It has inbuilt capability of curation and enrichment of the signals that you found on a day-to-day basis. Now, what makes it, very different, as shared with you, uh, it can work with huge amount of security telemetry data. You can retain the data for almost a year, search across this petabytes of data in few sub-seconds. That's it bring, on table. It's completely self-managed in terms of it's SaaS-based. Customer onboarded can completely take care of things on its own. uh, it has a capability of modern threat detection. It uses Yara language to create rules to detect threat for threat detection. It has huge amount of threat intel data that it takes from third parties, by which it can enrich the data for investigation and analysis. Uh, but it has a source of continuous IOC matching. So it has out of box lot of rules and detection by which it can do IOC matching based on it has all sort of rules that keep on adding and to do that to detect any threat that exists in your environment. Based on that, it can detect it's like a standard any SIM architecture or any solutions. You have your own telemetry data that being ingested to Chronicle. It has third-party intelligence of threat intel. So it has the threat intel come from ESET, Proofpoint, Avast, or Homeland Security. You can add your own threat intel, and then Google has its own very powerful threat intel like virus total in uppercase, which brings more capabilities or intelligence to the world platform. And based on that, incident investigation, threat hunting becomes easier to do. Threat detection it becomes easier to do. Apart from that, you can integrate Chronicle through APIs or to ingest data or any third-party solution. You can also integrate Chronicle with a third-party SOAR or their own SOAR. For example, Chronicle SOAR, which was earlier known as Simplify. So you can add these capability to your solution, to overall architecture of a SOC solution. As I say, detection, as I say, it has powerful detection, and so what it comes with is out of box, plenty or huge amount of rules that have been constructed by the Google the security teams. It also to which it get feeds from various sources like SOC Prime, or it converts signals into Yara compatible format, which you can ingest and customize and add those rules into your Chronicle rule repository. The syntax are powerful and allows you to detect the new threats, existing threats. Keep on doing that. So this is where the out of box rule detection has become a very powerful aspect of Chronicle with the great capabilities of the team, which keep on adding these things. Apart from that, as I said, as a MSP like Systools, we can keep on adding and modifying these rules based on the customer requirement. In terms of use cases, I think put a huge amount of telemetry, DNS, vulnerability data, database. I think EDR, XDR, all we keep on adding this telemetry with cloud and this. As I said, the data can be ingested. The data enrichment happens. So if you put data like IP addresses, it will Google Chronicle will basically enrich it to the based on the who is data. If there is a malware that it detected, it will get the threat intel data related to malware. So it brings a lot of this data as part of the overall use cases for analysis, incident response analysis, or threat detection as part of overall solution. This is just so if you see here, or just to summarize, it is infinitely elastic. It can get sub-second raw log search, cloud native, and this is it's born in cloud. It's SaaS based. Doesn't need to re-engineer just to bring into cloud. It is from day one has been thought to a SaaS based solution. Allows organization don't think about infrastructure, don't think about the way it has been priced. It ensure that you don't think about log size become a deterrent for adding log because it will increase the cost. So it's pricing based on employer user base. It has a lot of parser forwarders and it has API to ingest data for which parsers are not there into our Chronicle. Now, coming to our resolution intelligence platform, it is a platform given by Netenrich, which has which has been running SOC or managed SOC for their customer for many years. Now, what have they have done is they have basically used Chronicle as their base infrastructure for data telemetry or data repository or log repository, and on top of it, it uses its own intelligence based on its own experience and other data that's available to create this entire intelligence platform. So if you see here, telemetry is coming. All this telemetry goes to Chronicle, whether it's log alert from Microsoft 365, Google, EDR, AWS, all your on-premise telemetry comes into Chronicle. And then it creates, it built up this entire classification, contextual, AI ops and all, to give you certain features which makes your SOC operation much more efficient. Now, if you talk to any SOC manager, the biggest problem a SOC manager face is alert fatigue. Like the L1 team is just busy. 90% of their time goes in marking the false positive. Your 90 to 95% of alerts that comes in your SOC are typically false positive alerts. Now, how do you overcome that? It's a huge problem in terms of your resources. One of the biggest problem that a SOC will face is that because your L1 analysts are going through these alerts in a sequential manner and marking them false positive, it could be possible that 15th alert in the queue, which the SOC L1 analyst should take care, will take time to reach, because if suppose even take 5 minutes, the 15th alert will take almost an hour to go and cater. Now by that time the alert could be a real incident or real threat, and it could have proliferated in your network much compared to expected. This is where resolution doesn't come into picture. It says based on the incident, they will remove 80% of your false positive from the queue, and you focus on those 20%. Now, out of those 20%, there are many alerts that are basically looks like alert initially, but as you see over timeline, they typically becomes a false positive, or it's because of the way they behave. Like a backup is being taken, it has must have raised alerts of copying data outside, but then when you see it over a period of time, it understand it is a regular activity, which is fine. So 10% more goes in those type of alerts could mark as false positive, and then you only have 5, 10 or 10%, so which your team need to focus on. This is how your SOC efficiency increases, because now you're focusing on real alerts on real time instead of waiting for the previous 14 alerts to complete it. This is where it brings it brings power to your running SOC. You can integrate this again, the solution to any IT operation, ITSM tools, or SOAR. As I said previously, you can integrate with solution like Simplified or Chronicle SOAR as it is been known now. Now, just to give you a perspective how it works, so you have the telemetry on the bottom, and then what you get signals from raw signals from Chronicles from these telemetry which Chronicle picks, and then it uses the capability of enrichment and other intelligence to create situational awareness. Situational awareness is all about generating data around the alerts that you have got. So suppose there's an alert X, so try to find what other information I can give it to my analyst for them to analyze that particular alert and act on. So this is where situational awareness come into picture, and then you have ML, machine learning, or AI that's been added to this overall data to bring more intelligence to handling such alerts. It goes and find out, it can correlate data across timeline and say, hey, this looks like it's not a problem of this particular time period. It looks like an alert across timeline. So those things based on ML and AI, they bring this context here, and then we can integrate with the SOAR as been depicted here. Uh, just to go in more detail, so you have this confidence building, impact, and likelihood, that part of my situational awareness capabilities that we do, by which we can understand and get more relevant information while handling an alert. So this is what Systools provide as a SOC as a service. This is overall our architecture for our SOC as service. We have the entire SOC built on Chronicle and Resolution Intelligence and Simplify. The regular SOC with the SOC capabilities. Our team sits remotely, manages this entire 24/7. We can take care of any attack surface or cloud network, uh, your other website, SSL, and other things, all can be monitored through the single socket service. So what I'll do is I'll now go and get and show you a demo of the solution, actual solution. Uh, do that. So this is my Chronicle console, a Google Chronicle console. If we here see here is it look like Google, right? So what they have done, as they say, they want to it should become a Google to your security telemetrics. So here, suppose I want to check who has access google.com in my network. So it gives you as what what Chronicle does. It has two type of how does it work with logs? So you have the raw log data. Otherwise, what it does, it basically does enrichment and convert the raw log into a UDM, unified data model, for making the search more usable for the end user. So now I go and check google.com. Now, if you see here, within few seconds, it's able to show me something. It shows you how the google.com has been accessed over a period of time, how many time it has accessed. If you see on the left hand side, the important thing, it is showing from which assets this has been accessed. So you have CGPL one asset apart from this. Now, if you see more detail, and that is where it brings more capability, is that it shows you when it was first accessed and last accessed. Trust me, in a regular sim where you have data for 30 days or 15 days, this data is not possible to bring. Within second, it can show you when was this particular URL was accessed by on this assets and the last time. So you have a complete historical data of 1 year against which you can search and find out. So as I said, when the management asked, "Are we secured?" The only thing you have to show them, these are my IOCs URL, and let me show you within seconds. This is how we are protected. Nobody has. If those IOC have been accessed, it shows you. If it's not been accessed, it doesn't show you out here. Okay. Then I can go and check into a timeline on that particular date when it was accessed. So it shows at 9:18 this was accessed. This particular URL was accessed at that moment of time. Now if you go down here, it shows prevalence score. So it also showing is okay, at that time, apart from accessing this, this is what you have accessed other URLs. Okay. Now let me go and show you some more capabilities so I show dashboards here. So showing me in context of CGPL from the asset. Let me just do a star. I'm just giving them a time I have log data. Show you amount of log data has been ingested. If you see here, it's showing you from what type of log sources this data has come. So for my SOC log, my L1, L2 team, this is what they will keep on doing it to ensure to any incident they know how to, do investigation on. This is the individual log. I can go and see a JSON file, and I can do that. It has, you can get the XML also. So different file format, I can do that. Okay. I go back again and go to my dashboard. So showing how many events had been ingested, how much log is for last 7 days, uh, what is my IOC match. So I'm getting lot of hit from this particular IP, which is the IOC of complement, and I've got so many hit from here. What different type of logs I have got, on which days how much logs have come. So those information is there. If you see how many rules have got detected by my infra, I can see here's how many rules have been, which rules have been seen severity wise over period of time. I can see out here. You can see here my rule detection has increased over a period of time. Then which by severity, medium mostly, high and low was coming there. Severity over time. And then what are different is external vendor native detection, email suspicion, file delivered, traffic to. So they're all different type of detection, rule detection that my our solution has able to detect. So those type of insight it gives you. Which assets have been used on which these rules have been detected, which users have these rules have been detected for which asset IP you have seen. So all this information are given. Now something so here they're showing if the user sign in, how the user is signing on a daily basis. So again based on the logs, which application are being used, Outlook, Azure Directory, so forth and all. So those are here. From which country you are getting more, signals or access. Now I can just go and check contest aware detection. So how many assets and devices are at risk, user at risk, overall risk mine. So now I go here and show you alert and IOCs. So how many alerts have come? All the alerts are shown here. Now this there will be many alerts which are false positive also out here. Okay. But if you see any of these alerts, so I should go to any of these like organization employee. It brings a lot of contextual data out here, so I get these information and do that. So I can close the alert, change alert status. Let me go back again and get some older alerts. So let me see this alert. Similarly, I go here and show you all the rules that are part of my instance. So you can see a login brute force, and this is written in Yara L language, not a great difficult language to learn. But if you see here, they've taken care of the Maitre attack framework, so they have mapped it to the tactic and technique of Maitre attack. What they are trying to look for detection. So based on this, you can run this tool, so you can run the test and see if there are matching data across previous data or current data. Typically, what we do it uh, for this, so there's no value when we obtain. So what I can do, I can suppose I say there are multiple rules which are out of box coming here. Now you can also create your own rules. So my L3 team or my L2 team typically goes to SOC Prime and look for Sigma rules and basically you convert those rules into a Yara language framework and bring into and add those rules out here as a new rule. So this allows me to keep on adding more rules as a custom thing. So any new threads that has come, I can keep on adding it here my own. So my L2, my L3 team, based on their research, based on their analysis, they can keep on adding or tweak the existing rules that you are seeing. So it's showing how many ingestion events and all, how many events by status, which logs events are getting more from Azure AD Office, which were Defender, how many logs are coming and all. You can see that. This is about the Chronicle. Now let's, so Chronicle, as I said, is a base or foundation for our SOC solution. What we do is we have NetEnrich as our platform. As I say, NetEnrich allows us to reduce overall false positives, and that's the reason, and brings a lot of other focus to a solution. So let me show you. So what we it basically is interacting with your Google Chronicle, fetching the data through API, and then showing in a very contextual way through the platform. So, like for example, let's see all the assets out here. So this is they are showing all the assets that you can think about, all that are available that has been found in our network with information. Uh, I'm not sure. You can see all the assets in a particular graph, so you can see how they are connected. This is the asset graph. Okay. Now I can see the asset overview. So showing how many assets are there, overall statistic of assets. So you can see here. So it's showing asset with less than 4 GB RAM and other information that you can think about. It's showing the metrics detection. If there is any, for which of the asset you have found these type of alerts based on the rule that we have configured. So it's showing external vendor native detection on this particular asset, and I can go and click what different alerts I can see here. I can go here and check out for external possible ransom behavior. And if you see here possible ransom behavior priority P2, and I click on the act on. So act on is something that is created by the RI platform, resolution intelligence platform, based on their intelligence that it looks like a real incident, and we need to work on this. So if you see here, it's showing me certain information contextual to that particular incident or alert that has been raised. Uh, so if you see here, it's giving me situation awareness and analysis here, showing how this chronicle sequence of event that has happened, likelihood. So likelihood is around 90%. What is the, on which the impact on is these two assets that it impacted, and what is the level of confidence with the rule? It is very high on the detection part. So it has found most of the thing that it thinks as per the configuration of the rules, on which entity it has. So on the, it is found on these assets, and this is the user ID which we have found, who also involved in that particular alert. So you can see more domain and IP part of this, and it says it has done a check on through virus total abuse PDB to find the IOC IP. So it is an IOC IP which people trying to access from network, or they are trying to attack our network. Detection. Uh, so based on again the rule, it finds email such piece of file is delivered. The attack tactic is initial access. Attack technique is phishing, and it creates a detection, another alert for detection. Okay. Now let me go back again to my main page and say talk about visibility. And I see I'll start with my detection coverage. Now this is something people ask, like from CISO perspective, the concern is, do I have visibility in my network about how much coverage my SOC solution is taking care of? And this gives a complete picture of your coverage. So if you see here, the MITRE, based on the MITRE attack, this has been structured, and it says based on what type of logs you're ingesting into the SOC solution, for active scanning, I'm completely covered. So those logs required to detect an active scanning has been ingested to my compromised infrastructure are not ingested. So for CISO, it need to understand, does it applies to me? If it applies to me, what logs need to put for getting this particular type of alerts, or cover this particular type of threat vectors. Initial access, valid accounts. So if you see purple, as it says here, is 100%. Anything which is more is 100% coverage is purple. A light purple is up to 76 to 99%. Then we have this. So based on this, it will basically, based on type of log, what logs we are getting, we basically are mapping that and giving you the picture to the CISO, that how much coverage has been done through us. Uh, okay. Let's see the ingestion again. Whether my logs are, my sensors are working. They are how whether they're generating, sending logs or not. So this is a very important piece of information that my SOC guy can do take on day-to-day basis. So if the data is coming, which source is giving data when? Okay. So if you say it's showing me, and most of these logs are running, we have got our data log from all of these sources for today also. So it's giving me in real time which logs are there. And we can, and from an L1 LLS, the first thing they will check is my logs working or not. Are the sensor, are the logs for this particular type of data coming or not? Okay. On daily basis, how many logs are coming to the systems? Okay, so it allows me to understand this. I can see the health log, source health here. So it's showing they're okay. They're giving me. So what is the last time the log was ingested by from these components? Okay, so like CC forwarder from Zeek is not been sent to us for last almost like 20 days. It could be intentional, it could be unintentional. At least we know about it and we can reach out to them and say, hey, I think there's something wrong with this particular sensor. It is not forwarding long to me. Now, coming to the main part is threat detection. So again, now it's showing me based on the micro attack where I am more vulnerable. So it's showing on there are 33 alerts that has come on initial access. Now this is a huge issue or security issue, because then it's showing you what is a different type of subject, or what a different type of attack that has been trying detected. It give information. The act on get created for it, for each of the alert which is not false, doesn't look like a false positive. Act on will be created for more analysis investigation by the L1 and L2 team. Okay. So this is give IOC matches how many ISOs which has been matched with our net in our network. You can see huge in this demo instance, huge amount of IOC match has been done out here. Okay. So huge amount of IOC things are happening here. This is the IOC indicators, IOC matched by asset IP addresses. So it gives you complete picture of how the IOCs are within my network. And then the tick is created among for these IOCs. Alerts have been created. Incident count is 17, and then you can do that entire things. So from an L1 perspective, this becomes a huge, from an L1 perspective. Let me show you something which is important uh, from a overall attack surface coverage. Most of the SIM will cover your attack surface of cloud and network and other infra, but here it is also adding those attack surface which typically will not cover by you, like your websites where they are hosted, your dark web. Those data is also brought in, and a threat intel or a correlation is done and provided to you at a glance. So here, if you can see here, I can see here all my website that are hosted for all my domains. So this is all my domains for me. There are 19 domain on which were hosted on GoDaddy or other things. when what was the expiry date of for each of the domain and all. It can show me subdomains for this associated with that main domain, and then it shows something which is very important typically for a phishing attacks, squatted domains. Like people may have created domains which is look similar to your domain, which can be used for initiating a phishing attack. Now this becomes, so what typically you'll do is send mailers or you're basically going to block these domains from sending emails to your users, and hence to able to or communicate this to your partners or customers to ensure they don't get part of the a phishing attack. Now again, apart then it's showing you certificates which are for all of the web server where you have these website hosted. You have a certificate. It gives you information whether they are expired or not, what are the risks associated for each of these certificates. So I can see the risk associated with each of these certificates and take care of the self and certificate is there. So it's there five open and do that. So again here, now here other thing is brand exposure, like where are your email IDs, which are your email IDs there. So it shows there are 119 email IDs that they can found either in breach databases or in public domain. And it says there are 42 of these IDs are present in the breaches. So there have been like a breach like for Apollo. There's a breach of Apollo or a PDL where this particular email ID was part of the, so this user must have added themselves to the Apollo system or solution through the official ID, and that data got breached. So those user data has been compromised. So from a CISO perspective, this really helps you to overall see the overall risk associated uh, with the overall domain or attack surface. So if you can see there is a alert created for it, and I can see that here. I can go to the alert and see more details about the alert. So I can see the context here. Apollo is a verified beach. It gets all information from here. So following user information was breached or leaked through this particular breach. Now, if I go again to discovery and see here, there are again the IP addresses, which IP addresses are part of my attack surface and which are vulnerable, what is being done. So I get a complete overview of or visibility on my attack surface, and is there something wrong, and associated risks from a security point of view are displayed out here. Let me go to acts on. Act on are something that get created on all those true positive alerts where my L1 team can go and basically focus on these attacks. So here is Elasticsearch. This is being shown here. Is a P3 is a low priority Elasticsearch service detected on this. So on my AWS infrastructure, this particular service has been running, and I basically can check whether it's the right service to run or it is being run from this. I can take particular, so I get those additional information about it. Let me go back again to my main alerts. And maybe search for critical or so these are the critical expose followed up multiple thread with critical expose. So let me see this again. So as I say, while going through alert, so it's showing me likelihood, impact, and all confidence. It is mapping it to the which tactic is being covered through this particular act on. So it is in this case, it is execution and defense evasion. That isn't part of this. What are the evidences associated as I shared in the past, which assets are affected, where the evidence has been found, what is the IOC that has been found, from which database this IOC was found. This IOC was found in this particular asset which is available here. Detection is here. So so if you understand from our point of view, sir, this allows us to have a very efficient SOC team, We don't have to worry about my L1 team is busy doing false positive. They focus on the real threats, the real incident, and put their energy and time on those things, and reduce that and increase or improve the mean time to response, the MTTR, the KPI that we look for. It allows you to bring that capability to a SOC efficiency that we see that. That's it from my side. If you have any question, more than happy to take it. You can always reach out to us. My email ID is, I'll just put it here. Reach out to me for any question on regarding this. Thank you, everyone.
And that's it. Hope you enjoy the video.